The state of food self-sufficiency.
This segment explores South Korea's food self-sufficiency, examining its heavy reliance on imports, the risk of food insecurity, and government's policies aimed at addressing these challenges. We analyze how technological advancements and policy shifts could help improve domestic food production. Since the early 1970s, a statistical paradox has emerged in South Korea's food production landscape, highlighting the country's complex agricultural trajectory. While the government proudly proclaimed self-sufficiency in rice, a closer examination of broader cereal self-sufficiency, which includes rice, barley, wheat, maize, and beans, painted a different picture. Overall, cereal self-sufficiency was in steady decline, ultimately plummeting to a mere 23% by 2013. This apparent contradiction stemmed largely from maize imports, which surged to meet the growing demand for livestock feed as meat and dairy consumption expanded. South Korea's heavy reliance on food imports extend beyond maize. Despite successfully producing enough rice to meet domestic demand, self-sufficiency rates for other major grains such as wheat, barley, and maize remain critically low. The country now depends on foreign imports for over 75% of its total grain consumption. This reliance is not limited to grains. Other essential food products, including soybeans and dairy, are also overwhelmingly sourced from international markets. This imbalance underscores a fundamental challenge. While South Korea maintains a degree of food independence in certain sectors, its overall food security remains highly vulnerable due to the dominance of imports.
Factors contributing to low domestic production.
Several interrelated structural and economic factors contribute to South Korea's persistent difficulties in achieving greater food self-sufficiency. The country's challenging geographical conditions are a primary obstacle. With mountainous terrain and limited arable land, South Korea has fewer natural resources available for large-scale farming compared to other major agricultural nations. Compounding this issue is the country's exceptionally high population density, which has led to widespread urbanization and industrial expansion. As cities and commercial zones continue to grow, valuable farmland is increasingly repurposed, reducing the amount of land available for food cultivation. Beyond the physical constraints, economic factors also play a crucial role. The high cost of farming in South Korea, driven by expensive land prices, rising labor costs, and costly agricultural inputs such as fertilizers and machinery, makes it difficult for domestic farmers to compete with the cheaper imported food products. Many major food exporting countries, including the United States, Canada, and Australia, benefit from economies of scale, allowing them to produce staple crops at significantly lower costs. Consequently, trade liberalization, while beneficial for consumers in terms of access to a diverse and affordable food supply, has further discouraged domestic production by making imported food more economically attractive than local alternatives. The challenges do not end there. The aging population of farmers is another major issue. As younger generations increasingly move away from agriculture in pursuit of urban careers, the agricultural labor force continues to shrink. This generational shift, combined with the financial pressure of farming, has led to a steady decline in domestic production. Without major policy interventions and incentives, South Korea's ability to achieve higher levels of food self-sufficiency will remain constrained by both physical and economic realities.
The risks of dependence on food imports.
Relying so heavily on imported food comes with significant risk, particularly in an era of increasing global uncertainty. South Korea's dependence on foreign agricultural products exposes it to fluctuations in international food prices, geopolitical tensions, and supply chain disruptions. The consequences of such reliance can be severe. Sudden trade restrictions, diplomatic disputes, or international conflicts can result in shortages and soaring food costs. Recent global events have demonstrated the vulnerabilities of food import independence. The COVID-19 pandemic, for example, caused supply chain disruptions that led to temporary shortages of essential food items worldwide. Similarly, geopolitical conflicts such as trade disputes or armed conflicts between major agricultural exporters can lead to unexpected restrictions on exports, affecting South Korea's ability to secure key staple foods. Climate change also plays a role, as extreme weather events and natural disasters in major food producing countries can impact global supply and drive up prices. With these risks in mind, food security has become a pressing national concern. Diversifying import sources, maintaining emergency food reserves, and strengthening domestic agricultural capacity are all expected to be essential measures to mitigate the risks associated with global food supply shocks.
The future of food security in Korea.
Ensuring long-term food security in South Korea will require a delicate balance between trade liberalization and domestic agricultural sustainability. While completely eliminating reliance on imports is neither practical nor economically feasible, increasing self-sufficiency in key food categories remains a priority. Recognizing the potential dangers of excessive reliance on imports, the South Korean government has implemented policies aimed at enhancing domestic food production and ensuring greater food security. A key strategy has been the provision of financial incentives and subsidies to support local farmers, particularly those engaged in cultivating staple crops. In addition to direct financial support, South Korea has been investing in smart agriculture and cutting-edge technologies to optimize food production. Another critical component of South Korea's food security strategy is the maintenance of emergency grain reserves. While these policies represent meaningful progress, experts argue that further efforts are needed to strengthen domestic agriculture and encourage long-term investment in the sector. Comprehensive reforms will be necessary to create a more robust and self-sufficient food systems. One of the most pressing challenges is revitalizing the agricultural sector by attracting younger generations to farming. With an aging farming population and declining interest in agriculture as a career, South Korea must invest in programs that make farming more appealing, whether through financial incentives, training initiatives, or opportunities for high-tech sustainable agriculture ventures. Additionally, climate change resilience must become a core focus of future food policies. With shifting weather patterns and increased environmental uncertainties, South Korea will need to explore alternative farming methods, develop drought-resistant crop varieties, and enhance its ability to produce food under changing climate conditions.